Hey everybody, welcome back to Backcountry Amateur Radio. Today I want to talk a little bit about the TidRadio Bluetooth programmer. Now, TidRadio was actually reached out to me to do some collaboration, and I'm like, sign me up. That thing looks really cool, but I do have there's a learning curve to it, and I've got to figure out some things. But I want to dive in and show you what it's like to just open this up and plug it in. All right, so TidRadio actually sent me a TidRadio H6 or the TD-86 radio model, which is really cool. It works really well, and standing alone, you can program it by hand super easy. So they also sent me that programmer, and the Bluetooth programmer is a pretty cool concept. The idea of being able to use that in the field is really appealing to me because the app hosts several different channel libraries. And whether those libraries are GMRS, mirrors, whatever you're planning to do with your radio, as a ham radio operator, I can plug in all the repeaters in a region and program this radio on the go by region according to those different libraries that you can set up. Now, I'm going to get into the libraries probably on a different chapter in this video series, but today what we're going to look at is just a reading from the radio. All right, firing this up, we need to make sure we can pair the Bluetooth device with the app and then select our radio. And from there, you hit read and it'll import the data from the radio, channels, settings, all that, and bring it out into the app so you can look at it and reprogram it if necessary. All right, once you've imported that, you can actually save that, give it a name, file, whatever, and it will be available in your offline library, which is pretty handy. So keep that in mind. I wasn't really concerned with doing a whole lot with it. What I really wanted to do was open up the repeater function and dive into that. So right now, what I'm showing you is all the different channels that were kind of preset on this radio after I did a test run with it and just programmed the mirrors in just for kicks. And then I went back and erased some channels and programmed a simplex and the local repeater. Right, so let's go into the programming feature again. We're still connected. You can see the blue light on the radio. And I want to go into the repeater function. If you go down to that button on the bottom, hit repeater, it opens this up. And now it shows us regionally what repeaters are nearby. So I'm going to go top down, plug in channel 0, channel 1, channel 2, and I think I go up to channel 7. I forget, and so that would be Murdoch Peak. But anyway, the map over here is utahrepeaters.com, and I'll put a link for that in the description below because it's a super handy tool to have. You can kind of see where the repeaters are, their frequencies, their altitudes, everything about that repeater that you would get on Radio Reference or Repeater Book, more accurately, and what they're linked to, all that. This map is super cool, and I think you'll find something like that in different places around the West, or around the United States, or around the world. I don't know. Anyway, in Utah, this is really handy for me. So I'm programming these in just simply by clicking on the channel with the drop down, and we're going to get ready to write this to the radio. So what I do, turn on the radio, turn on the Bluetooth, or make sure that's still on, make sure it's all connected, and then hit write, that blue button down there at the bottom. After you do that, the screen will go into write mode, the radio will display programming or program, and you'll be able to kind of watch that progress. And just like with chirp or anything, as soon as that shuts off or as soon as it's finished, we'll turn off or reset the radio, and the Bluetooth programmer will remain on. Now at this point, it's time to test it. KI7WJP, KI7WJP monitoring. Yeah, that's channel 1. Let's go to channel 2. I doubt I'll hit this. KI7WJP monitoring. Yeah, that one's a long ways off. And double check my tone on that one. It's correct. Well, let's go channel 3. This is the same location. I don't know if I'll hit this either. KI7WJP. Alright, what I'm finding is that the radio, for some reason, likes to go into PTTID on both. However, when I'm programming it, it shouldn't be doing that, and it shouldn't be doing that by default from those repeater programs that are like preset within your menus. Take a look at this. Both, PTTID on both. Now that shouldn't be happening because it sends a PTTID, so it IDs the radio when you push the transmit button or the PT push to talk. So that shouldn't be happening. The other one that shouldn't be happening is this frequency hopping. That shouldn't be on, and I don't remember putting it to on, but this is again another repeater default according to the programming. So that is a little bit frustrating, and I've got to figure out why the radio or why the programming app wants to turn those things on. Alright everyone, I just want to make sure that you kind of got the gist of what was happening here. My initial experience with this was kind of like bittersweet. I love the concept and it works, but at the same time I've had a little bit of frustration with some of these default settings, and I've got to figure out how to change that, and you'll be the first to know. No, I think it's just the wrong location. Let's go to this 44825. Should be able to get that. I'm actually going to turn down the power here. KI7WJP. Maybe that was a mistake. Let's turn it back up to 5 watts.